All right, today we are jumping headfirst into a couple of concepts that are, well, they're huge. Karma and rebirth. We're going to unpack how they really work, especially from the lens of Buddhist ethics, because they're basically the engine that drives everything in that worldview. So, let's get right into it. And just so you know where we're getting our info, we're leaning heavily on Peter Harvey's fantastic book, An Introduction to Buddhist Ethics. It's a really solid, deep dive that helps cut through the confusion around these big ideas. Okay, so let's kick things off with a big, kind of mind-bending question. In the Buddhist view of things, our lives aren't just this single story with a beginning and an end. Nope, it's more like a circle. And that circle, well, it has a name. And that name is samsara. It literally translates to wandering on. And that's exactly what it is. This non-stop, beginningless cycle of life, death, and rebirth. But here's the kicker. It's often seen as, well, unsatisfying. It's a cycle that we're kind of stuck in, whether we even realize it or not.
But this is where it gets really interesting. See, the goal isn't just to, score a better life the next time around. That's not the ultimate prize. The real goal is to get off the ride completely, to break the cycle and reach a state of total freedom called nirvana.
Okay, so if samsara is this giant spinning wheel, what's keeping it going? What's the motor? Well, that brings us right to the law of karma.
The word karma itself just means action. That's it. But in this whole framework, it's way more than that. It's like a natural law, kind of like gravity. It's this simple, powerful principle that our intentional actions, the stuff we consciously choose to do, have real consequences. And those consequences shape our future, including where we end up in the next life. It's not some cosmic judge handing out sentences, it's just pure cause and effect.
And this idea of taking ownership is spelled out so clearly in the old texts. Check this out. Beings are heir to deeds. Wow, think about that. Your actions are your inheritance. They're your family. They're what decides your fate. They're what shape your reality, for good or for bad. It's this incredibly powerful sense of personal responsibility. So here's a really helpful way to think about it. Picture every intentional action you take as planting a seed. Over time, that seed is going to sprout, it's going to grow, and eventually, it's going to produce a fruit. That fruit is the karmic result. It's the consequence that you'll experience maybe in this life or maybe in a future one. All right, so if karma is planting all these seeds that determine our next life, what are the options? Where can we actually end up? Let's take a look at the map of samsara. And here it is. This is the classic Tibetan wheel of life. It's this amazing, intricate visual that maps out the whole cycle of samsara. Every single section you see represents a different possible world, a different kind of existence. It's basically a picture of all the potential destinations for the karmic seeds we've been planting. And if you look right at the center, you can see the three things that keep the whole wheel turning: greed, hatred, and delusion.
So, this wheel is broken down into these main realms. You've got the heavenly worlds, which sound great, right? But they're more like a really long, pleasant vacation. They don't last forever. Then there's the animal world, which is all about instinct and, well, confusion. You've got the realm of the hungry ghosts, or pretas, which is defined by this gnawing, insatiable greed and frustration. And yeah, there are hell worlds, places with some pretty intense suffering, but even those aren't eternal. But the most important one for us, the human world. It's seen as incredibly rare and precious, because it's the one place where you have the perfect mix of suffering and intelligence to actually understand all this and do something about it, to work your way off the wheel.
Okay, I know this can all sound a little intense, but here's the good news. Buddhist ethics doesn't just lay out the problem, it gives you the solution. It gives you the key to actually take control of the wheel. And it all boils down to one incredibly powerful thing: your intention.
This is probably the single most important point to get. The Buddha himself said it. Karma isn't just the action, it's the will, the cetana, behind the action. It's that mental spark, that motivation that gets the ball rolling. That's what plants the karmic seed.
And that changes everything. Think about it. If you accidentally step on an ant, there was no will, no intention to harm, so it doesn't create that heavy karmic weight. It's completely different from deliberately setting out to hurt a living being. The intention is the secret sauce. And the flip side of this, the positive energy has its own name: puñña. You can think of it as karmic fruitfulness. It's this purifying positive power that you generate when you do good things on purpose. It's not about racking up good deed points. It's a natural force that just leads to more happiness and good things down the road.
But it gets even deeper. It's not just that you intend to do good, it's why. The quality of your motive is huge. So, take giving, for example. If you give something just because you want to cash in on some good karma later, that's the lowest tier. It's not bad, but it's self-interested. A step up is giving because, hey, it's a good tradition, it feels right. That's better. But the absolute best, the superior motive, you give because the very act of giving calms your mind and opens your heart, making you a better person and preparing you for real insight. Same action, 3 totally different levels of karmic fruit, all because of the why behind it.
Okay, let's get to what might be the single biggest takeaway from all of this. It's a huge misconception we have to clear up right now. Ready? Karma is not fate.
Let's just put these two side by side because they are polar opposites. Fatalism is the idea that your future is already written. It's set in stone. Karma says, nope, you've got the pen. You're writing your future with every single choice you make right now. Fatalism can make you feel powerless. Like, what's the point? But karma, it puts all the responsibility and all the power right back in your hands.
And another really important point. The Buddhist view isn't that everything that happens to you is your karma. Not at all. Sometimes you get sick because of, biology. Sometimes you get caught in a storm because of the weather. Sometimes a random accident happens, and this is a big one. Sometimes you're affected by the choices that other people make. Karma is a huge piece of the puzzle, for sure, but it's not the only piece.
And I just have to share this beautiful analogy from the texts because it explains this so well. Imagine a small evil deed is like a pinch of salt. For a person whose character is undeveloped, it's like dropping that pinch of salt into a small cup of water. It makes the whole thing undrinkable. But for a person who has spent their life cultivating goodness and wisdom, that same pinch of salt is like dropping it into the massive river Ganges. It just dissolves. It's still there, but its effect is tiny, totally diluted by the sheer volume of their good character. So, when you put it all together, what do you have? This isn't some system of cosmic reward and punishment. It's a profound psychological roadmap. It's a framework for taking total responsibility for the person you are and the life you are building for yourself, moment by moment, choice by choice.
Which really just leaves us with one last question to chew on. If every single thing you do on purpose is like planting a seed in the garden of your own future, what are you going to choose to plant today?